Welcome everyone to another exciting edition of SecureDAP's Bharat Security Initiative. I'm Karan, your host for today, and I'm thrilled to have you all joining us for this live webinar. Whether you are tuning in from India or across the globe, thank you for being part of our mission to strengthen cybersecurity and empower the digital Bharat. Today, we have got an incredible session lined up with a special guest who is a true expert in the field. We'll dive into a critical topic, engage in a live poll, answer your burning questions. Audience, participants, and everyone, uh, we will also announce a lucky winner from our last week's webinar in the course of this webinar. So stick around, participate, and make this a fantastic experience. For those who don't know me, I'm Karan Sontakke, Assistant Manager, Growth and Marketing, Secured App, representing Secured App in this webinar. And I'm also a cybersecurity enthusiast and a tech advocate as well. My passion is bridging the gap between cutting edge security solutions and the community, and I'm also excited to bring you these insights from today's session. Now, let me pass the spotlight to someone far more interesting than me, our guest for today. It's my pleasure to introduce Utkarsh Bhargav, co founder and CTO, Rixt. So you might be wondering, we had another guest, but we are sorry because he had some prior commitments with the IT ministry. Therefore, he had to make sure that he would attend that. So we have right now Utkarsh Bhargav, who is CTO. Thank you so much for coming here, Utkarsh. Uh,
Thank you for inviting me.
yeah. So, as an accomplished entrepreneur and technical leader with over 12 years of experience in the field of cybersecurity, Utkarsh had led teams across various domains, including penetration testing, red teaming, blue team operations, Windows Linux security, cloud security, SIM tactical security analytics, and etc. We are honored to have him share their insights today. Welcome, Utkarsh. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much.
So, can we have a poll right now, please, on the screen? Yeah. So, everyone, before we start this webinar, please engage in this poll, and then we can go forward from this. So, the winners will get an exclusive secured app merchandise. So, please make sure that you engage in this poll. I will announce the winner later in this session of the last week's webinar. So, yeah, only 30 seconds are left. Kindly engage in this. Okay, only 10 seconds left. All right. So, yeah. So let's go ahead with the questions. Uh, Utkarsh, I would like to ask you first to introduce about yourself, and then we can go ahead from this.
So, thank you for the opportunity, Karan. So,
Yeah.
I'm Utkarsh and I'm the co-founder of Rixty, and I lead the technical operations here at Rixty. When it comes to my career, so I'm a cybersecurity professional, worked in all three domains of security, that is your offensive security, defensive security, and compliance. And I have expertise in automating tasks. Like I have a philosophy like whatever things you have to repeat more than twice, simply automate that. And on that fundamental only, we are developing Rixty, which will eventually automate everything for you from identifying a cyber threats to performing the investigation to performing the response. The end-to-end process will be automated, and Rixty software will also give you the 100% 360-degree visibility of your IT environment. And how it gives, like I'll talk about it little later in this particular, in this webinar. Yep.
Sure. So guys, everyone, our topic for today is beyond alerts, achieving full IT infrastructure visibility with SIEM, SOAR, CSPM, and remote forensics. Utkarsh, can you please let us understand what are these terms like SIEM, SOAR, CSPM? Can you please give a brief introduction?
So SIM stands for Security Information and Event Management. This is the technology where you collect all the logs data, system metrics, net flow data. Log data means like your machine talks to you in form of system logs. Whatever activities are going on inside your laptop, desktop, servers, or your cloud platform, machine will like generate a log. It will log that activity, right? And then a technology called SIM will read those logs and give you the insight like what exactly going on across your infrastructure. Okay. Then we have SOAR, that is security, orchestration, automation, and response. Now, what does SOAR do? It will basically automate workflows for you. So whatever things you have to do manually. Like now, what happens in SIM? Let me give you an example. Like we have one of the customer, right? And they are having SIM and close to like 1,000 servers are connected and they generate somewhere around 30 lakhs every 15 minutes. Now there is no way to manually monitoring it. And that's where the SOAR comes into picture, which will automate every single thing for you. So you will create the playbooks dedicated to a particular use case. So it will look for that kind of event, investigate those things, and perform the response. That's where the SOAR comes into picture. CSPM is CSPM stands for Cloud Security Posture Management. So now, as everyone is moving towards cloud, you are using AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and what not, right? So your infrastructure is over the cloud, but the problem is, unlike our on-prem infrastructure where we know, okay, these are the devices which belongs to us and on what kind of configuration you are having, that part is completely missing on cloud. And a lot of people live under a myth like, okay, we are over AWS and Amazon is supposed to take care of security. So that thing is not true, right? So to get that visibility of your cloud platform, you need CSPM.
Great.
And I guess you also, what is one more term?
Uh, Remote forensics.
Remote forensics is something which gives you the true visibility of your network. So what happens like, okay, you have a machine, you have installed EDR, XDR, SIM and everything, right? None of the tool will tell you what exactly going on. If I ask you like, hey, in your laptop, what kind of command someone has executed inside PowerShell or Bash terminal, can you tell me? No,
Uh,
right? Even your SIM EDR cannot answer it. But if I ask you, how many live connections are there in your system right now? Where your computer is communicating? There is no answer for that. And the same thing happens with the SIM, XDR, EDR. So they also don't have that answer. Same thing like, okay, if I ask you, how many processes are running?
mhm.
No answer. Right? So remote forensics is something which answers everything for you, which
Right.
is not answered by your EDR, XDR, or SIM platform. And it
Okay.
gives you the true 360-degree visibility. I can ask my remote forensic tool, like, hey, tell me what kind of hardware activities have been executed in past 1 hour. Remote forensic is going to talk to my laptop, desktop server, get me that information. But the same thing you can't do with any of the existing technology which are present in the market, be it EDR, XDR, SIM. So
Right.
that's where remote forensics comes into picture.
So IoT is also involved in this. Nodes and
No,
sensors.
actually.
Okay.
IoTs are involved with your SIM platform, not with EDR, XDR, and remote forensics, because there is no operating system there.
Okay.
So we can't query those things. Like it's primarily like a basic OS will be there, which is designed to do a particular task in case of IoT.
All
Over
right.
there, log collection itself is a challenge, but again, that those can be overcome easily.
Okay. Got it. So one question comes to my mind.
Mhm.
Why is visibility across IT infrastructure more critical now than ever before?
Okay. So what happens like there is a simple thing. You can't mitigate a threat which you can't see. Correct?
Right.
Like if I know I'm facing some sort of brute force attack, then only I can mitigate it. And if
Right.
I don't know, then the attacker will continue doing that thing. And at some point of time, they will be successful in the attack. They will get inside my network.
Right.
So what happens, like lot of people, lot of organizations that we talk, majority of them are blind about their IT infrastructure. They
Hmm.
have their firewalls, they have their laptop, desktop servers, network switches, and cloud platforms and whatnot. They have everything. When it comes to visibility, they said, okay, I'm having EDR, I'm having firewall, I'm having IDS, IPS, I'm having XDR or something. But none of them is telling you what exactly going on. And if you don't know the threat, you can't mitigate it. Understand it in a way of army. Like if you don't have the radar, you can't find out what kind of attacks your enemy is doing. Are the fighter jets coming into your territory? Are they any missiles are there, or maybe like some drones are they are sending? To
Hmm.
detect all these things, you need radar. So
Right.
you need that same visibility for your IT infrastructure so that you can find out what activities are going on. You can figure out those things, investigate those things, and block them. And
Got
not just that, your this visibility thing will also help you understand the configuration of your network, the
it.
architecture of your network. What we do, we simply plan something. Okay, this is my architecture. How effective it is, we don't know. Because we have never monitored activities which are happening across the network. We simply go with the traditional stuff. Let's do VAPT, let's install EDR, XDR, and we are good to go. And we are leaving hell lot of blind spots behind where like a lot of attackers can come in easily. And they are continuously doing these attacks. Morning itself, like I find out, okay, in one of my client, like who recently signed up with us, I mean, yesterday itself they signed up, and today we completed the installation for them, and we figure out they are facing a lot of authentication attacks, right? And why they are facing? Because the cloud servers are publicly exposed, so attackers are hitting that cloud server continuously to get inside that server. So attackers have already find out the correct username. Now they are brute forcing for the password.
Hmm. Right.
So that happens when you don't know what is when you don't have the visibility. So visibility is extremely crucial in terms of security as well as in terms of compliances. Because all the compliances, be it your India DPDP, RBI compliances, TB compliances, GDPR, PCI all of them demand you to have that visibility, identify the threats, and report it to the authority.
Right.
If you don't have the visibility, what you will do?
Right.
Neither you are secure nor you are compliant. That's
And
a
when
bigger risk.
and when the hackers come in, they actually will have a better visibility than we actually have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Attackers are like if you are not monitoring, they are doing their job. Right? They are supposed to attack you, they are taking it. If you are
Yeah.
not monitoring, then definitely they will get inside. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Maybe after a month. Whatever time it will take, they will surely come in.
Got it. So, can you tell us how do traditional tools like EDR, XDR fall short in providing complete infrastructure visibility? Can you elaborate this a bit?
Sure. So let's talk about this antivirus, EDR, and XDR. They all are designed for a particular purpose. Like your EDR antivirus, EDR is basically a centralized antivirus, nothing beyond that. So they will have threat signatures, right? And they're gonna scan all the hash values present in your system, match it with the threat signature. If anything matches, they will trigger an alert and block that particular thing. That's the role of antivirus in EDR. It cannot go beyond that. Similar kind of thing is with XDR, where like again it will go one step ahead. Along with the threat signature, it will also look into the malicious activities in form of logs. And in some cases, depending on the vendor to vendor, they will also monitor the network connection. And again, they will have certain rules, signatures, and AI algorithm. If those activities fall under those categories, suppose the activity is matching with a signature, or maybe with a rule, or maybe with the AI pattern, it will simply identify it, block it. But how about after that? Because it's not at all possible for any vendor in the planet, no matter how much money they have got, how big they are, to have the latest threat database. If I give you a insight about it, like every 4 minutes, cyberspace receives a new malware or ransomware. Okay. And to reverse engineer that malware or ransomware, it takes somewhere around 3 to 4 months. So something that came in today on the cyberspace, the whole reverse engineering process will take next 3 months. and after 3 months you will have that data. Sorry, yeah. So nothing will be today. Whatever happened like before 30 days before today or 60 days before today, we don't have the data. So we have that blind spot of 3 months. Because reverse engineering is a complex process. It's not like that I will get the process dump and I'll convert it into binary to code. It doesn't work like that. If you are intelligent, attackers are more intelligent than you. So
Yeah.
it takes three to 4 months to develop that whole signature, understanding the behavior of the malware, and then pushing it to the EDR, XDR that you are having. So you have that gap of 3 to 4 months, right? So there is a big blind spot. If you are just dependent on your EDR, on your XDR, where you have like signatures and rules and AI things, and they have the limitation, then there is a problem. So the only thing that you left with is you need to move to the next generation SIEM and SOAR platform where we can monitor every single activity. Like, see, Steam will give you that in-depth visibility which you require. Steam will tell you, hey, this is a new process which is running,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
not Steam, the remote forensics will tell you this, this is something new. So what happens, like, again, it's all about blind spot, right?
Mm.
So when you are monitoring, and if you know, okay, in my organization, I'm supposed to run these 20 softwares in my laptop desktop,
Yeah.
right? One fine day, using remote forensics, we find out there is one more process running,
Mm.
right? And
Mm.
at this point, your EDR, XDR is not aware about it. Maybe it's
Right.
something very later. So
Mm.
over there, with the help of remote forensics, you can identify it, investigate it, at least block that, kill that process, rather than waiting for the signatures to come to your antivirus, EDR or XDR, and then they will take the decision, which will be like another 2 months of time. Makes no sense. So
Mm.
that's where like you need to have that complete visibility. It's
Right.
not like that, okay, I'm having a firewall, everything is done. I'm having EDR, I'm good to go. I'm having XDR, I don't need anything else. Every
Mm.
technology has its own use case, and to have proper security, you need every single thing. You cannot ignore EDR, you cannot ignore XDR, you cannot ignore SIM, you cannot remove a firewall. If you
Yeah.
are thinking, oh, I'm having XDR, let's remove firewall. No, firewall is its own job. And
Mm.
firewall will do something specific for you related to network, which
Mm.
your XDR will not do. So
Right.
when you are designing your network security, you need to put all the tools that to very strategically.
Mm.
So that's where like you need to have those all the technology, especially the SIM, which will give you the centralized visibility. SIM will talk to your EDR, SIM will talk to your XDR, it will talk to your firewall, it will talk to your remote forensics tool, it will talk to your cloud platform, your CSPM, and all other technology that you have got in your network, your server, laptop, desktop, and tell you what exactly going on. The
Right.
same thing is not true in case of firewall, EDR, or XDR. They have their
Mm.
limitation. That's why you need the next generation SIM, which can give you the in-depth visibility along with your existing technologies that you are having.
Yeah. So we have talked about SIEM, and more about how it helps uncover blind spots. Can you explain what is SOAR in a bit detail, and how can SOAR complement SIEM by enabling automated and intelligent response workflows?
Hmm. Perfect. So SIM we already talked about it. I'll give you one use case of SOAR as well, which is security orchestration, automation, and response.
Mm.
So what happens, like I told you in morning itself, like for one of our customer, we are like receiving some 3 lakh logs every 15 minutes. Now this is huge. Even if you have team of 20 security operations and security analysts or 50 analysts, it's not possible for them to look into all 3 lakh logs, right?
Mm.
Now, based on the network size, the flow can be more. Like there are people who generate crores of logs per day, right? So we have to automate things. Like it's not, we can't do everything manually. It's not possible only. So here, like to automate things, SOAR comes into the picture. What SOAR will do? Like now there are two ways to run security operations.
Yeah.
One, let's run it manually. So what we will do in manual case, we will have SIM. We will create use cases. Now your use cases completely depends on your IT infrastructure. What you have got, based on that, we will create the use cases. So say like you have got 200 use cases. Now in manual case, what would happen? A SOC team will sit. They will monitor those 200 use cases from morning to evening, evening to morning.
Mm.
24/7, they will focus on those 200 use cases only. Now,
Yeah.
problem is during this manual monitoring, there are very high chances that they're gonna miss out a lot of events. correct? There will be a
Right.
lot of security incidents going on, which the SOC team gonna miss out during their manual activity.
Right.
And another problem with manual thing is it's expensive also because you will require manpower more than like maybe like suppose you are generating 1 crore logs, you will require maybe 20 people, which is again
Right.
a big expense for you. Let's run the SOC in second day. Let's automate everything.
Yeah.
Now you have 200 play use cases. Let's create 200 playbooks. What these playbooks will do? They will identify that particular type of event. They will investigate the event, create a case, right? Send an alert. And if you have enabled automated response, they can also send auto incident response command to your firewall, to your Active Directory also, right?
Right.
So that's where SOAR comes into play. Instead of monitoring everything manually, let's automate all 200 playbooks. Now the SOAR is doing the job. Let's do the next thing. Okay, now whatever is not covered, the SOC team will monitor those things. And whenever they will identify anything new, they will create one more playbook. So now these
Right.
playbooks are continuously doing the job. You don't need to hire 20 people for you. One guy will be enough to run the SOC 24/7 for you. And everything is fully automated for you.
Right.
And without missing out a single event. Even if you are generating 10 crore events per day, SOAR is capable enough to handle all 10 crore events.
Okay.
So that's the
So,
beauty.
Utkarsh, can you differentiate both, like telling first telling what are the full forms of SIEM of SOAR, and how do they differentiate from each other?
So SIM stands for Security Information and Event Management.
Right.
SOAR stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response.
Hmm.
Now both are completely different. Basically, they complement each other.
Hmm.
SIM is something which will collect the log data, normalize it. It will apply the threat hunting rules. It will apply the anomaly detection, artificial intelligence algorithms, and UAV things, and give you the result. SOAR is something which will read the log data from SIM and start doing the investigation.
Hmm.
So SOAR will automate the whole workflow which a SOC analyst needs to do. What a
Hmm.
SOC analyst does, it will read an event,
Hmm.
identify all the similar events, start doing the investigation manually, right? And then it will write an email, create a case or whatever. The
Right.
same thing your SOAR will do automatically. So SOAR is primarily for workflow automation. SIM is for collecting and analyzing the logs, right?
Right.
Now SOAR is something which can talk to all your technology.
Hmm.
Suppose it has to send an incident response to a laptop. It can talk to your EDR or XDR to send the incident response command. Or it has to send incident response to your AWS thing. It can talk to your AWS API, send the response over there. It can talk to your firewall also. So that's what, and by the way, both the technology, SIEM and SOAR, both can talk to every single technology which is present in your network. The
Hmm.
difference is one talks to collect the log, right, and events. Second talks to perform the incident. So
Right.
that's the difference you can say. Yeah.
All right. So, can you tell us what are the common pitfalls when organizations try to automate responses with SOAR?
Okay. So what happens? See, the primary problem which I see, you have the SOAR platform. First
Hmm.
thing that struggle with is integration.
Hmm.
Because everyone is having wide range of technology. Like if I talk to the big enterprises where we work, right? So what they have, like, okay, they are having multiple different operating systems. They are
Hmm.
having multiple EDR and XDR tools also. Why they do so? Suppose there is an issue with one particular EDR, XDR, like we faced one in some 3, 4 months ago, right? The
Right.
CrowdStrike thing. So
Hmm.
just to mitigate those things, also like they have multiple technologies because of vendor lock-in. So like
Right.
we have some big customers where like they have like some 4, 5 different brands of firewall. They have some multiple EDR and XDR tools also. So first
Right.
problem that companies face with SOAR is integration. If you
Hmm.
want the full automation, the SOAR needs to have the full proof integration capability across your existing technology, whatever it is.
Hmm.
That is first thing. Second thing, people struggle with what to automate.
Right.
Okay, that is a bigger problem actually.
Hmm.
So we know, okay, I need to work on, for say, like I have a use case like authentication failure on Active Directory server. Now, Active Directory is my crown jewel. It's my most critical asset inside a corporate network. If my Active Directory compromised, suppose in your network you have 1,000 laptops, all 1,000 are gone. Because AD is the manager. AD takes care of every single device, every single server or laptop, desktop you have got. So you have a use case, okay, I want to monitor every single activity or every single activity related to authentication failure or success in the Active Directory. Fine, you have the use case. Now, how to automate?
Hmm. Right.
That's the problem because you need to know the process.
Hmm.
Okay. And a lot of people say, well, let's go to ChatGPT and ask it. But the problem is, ChatGPT is a large language model. It will give you whatever it will. Okay. It will just collect the text. Uh, it will refresh it and give you some text. It may
Hmm.
or may not be technically correct. So that's one more problem. So first you need to know, okay, what to automate. So you need to have a use case. Then all the steps which are technically valid, like, okay, I'm monitoring authentication failure. So what are the key things I need to investigate? I have to
Hmm.
look into user. I have to look into the IP address which is communicating with me. I have to look into the frequency of the attacks. What is the time gap between those attacks, right? And what is the reason behind the authentication failure? Multiple things I have to look into. Okay.
Right.
Once I have certain kind of things, like suppose, okay, I'm looking into IP address and I'm checking the reputation of the IP address with the help of cyber threat intelligence.
Hmm.
Okay. So if threat intel feed is saying like, okay, this is a blacklisted IP address, people have already reported it, basically a history seeker. Now what you need to do? So first you need to have the complete process, right? That you need
Right.
to have, then only you can automate things. Another thing, sometimes people do over automation also. And I have
Hmm.
seen this where like they go, okay, let's automate the vulnerability patch also. People have done that, and what happens? They end up with a downtime.
Hmm.
So they identify a vulnerability. Let's trigger a command to Active Directory and ask AD to install the patches across the system wherever the vulnerability is.
Hmm.
And they have automated it. And what happened? There was some breaking changes into that patch which lead to downtime.
Hmm.
So people like there are so many things which you are not supposed to automate. Or maybe you have started blocking the IP addresses.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you have like blocked some 10,000 IP address on your firewall. Now
Hmm.
firewall will become slower for you because it has to check for 10,000 different IPs.
Right.
So that will slow down things. So a lot of things you have to do, a lot of things you are not supposed to do.
Right.
So when you're performing the response, you have to look at the root cause, not at the IP address who is hitting you or the user or port or protocol. No. So that information, that knowledge, one needs to have before doing the before automating the processes. Otherwise, under automation is a problem, integration is a problem, over automation is disaster.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So these are few things which I experience actually with a lot of my customers.
Okay. So till now we have discussed SIEM and SOAR. To those who have joined, can you please explain them what is CSPM and how it relates to cloud security?
Okay. So CSPM stands for Cloud Security Posture Management.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of people they believe, okay, we are over the cloud. We are using Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS. Now, Google, Microsoft, Amazon will take care of the security, and they are guaranteeing me 99.99% uptime. So this is perfectly correct, right? They are guaranteeing you uptime, but the uptime is for their infrastructure. They will make sure their infrastructure is available 99.99%.
Hmm.
When it comes to security, that is completely user's responsibility, whosoever is using it. Amazon has nothing to do with it. What kind of password you are putting into your AWS attack account or Azure account or Google Cloud account, that is up to you, right? When you are
Right.
setting up a container or server or platform as a service, right? What kind of configuration you are doing over there? That is completely your responsibility. If you are exposing your server to the public internet, whatever risk are there with that exposure, that is your responsibility.
Hmm.
Amazon does not care about it, right? And
Hmm.
what the problem with cloud is, everyone uses it. People simply go, okay, it's super easy. I need an API for sending SMS. I will simply open the API and I will open it with the default credential or maybe default settings which AWS offers. Because
Right.
when it comes to deploying a lot of control, all three platforms, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, they have command lines. And
Right.
majority of people don't know that command line is how to do that configuration. I
Hmm.
need to give limited permission to my simple notification service API, but I said, okay, let's go with default, whatever is present. And the reason is a lot of people don't understand security and they open it. And now
Hmm.
that is exposed, someone can use it and exploit it, right? Same they do
Hmm.
with the other services. Now, where does the CSPM comes into picture? CSPM gonna scan the whole cloud platform for you. It will
Right.
check every single policy. It will identify all the assets. Sometimes developers will open an API and they forget to close it. Maybe at that point of time they need that API. They use that API. Now they are supposed to delete that API or disable the API, but they did not. So first it's running. It's running with the default configuration. It's costing you money. And again, with default configuration, there are security risks. So
Right.
CSPM will tell you how many assets you are having, what kind of configuration those assets are having, how
Mm,
many users are there, what they are doing, and where
mm,
your cloud platform stands as per the security standard. What kind of security controls you have deployed. Suppose you have a API, is that API configuration is as per the security standards or not? Or
mm,
it's just running with the default thing? Or you are
mm,
having a server. Is that server properly configured or is it publicly exposed like that?
mm,
So these kind of issues, like all these visibility which you require
mm.
over the cloud, that visibility you will get from CSPM.
Got it.
Now
Got it.
SIM can also work here, but SIM will only give you the cloud platform logs. So you
Mm,
will have the information about the activities which are happening across the cloud, not the information related to configuration and assets. So
right.
that's where like SIM and CSPM are different. That's why you need CSPM platform.
Got it. Can you share an example of misconfiguration that CSPM can catch, but SIEM or EDR might miss?
Of course. So see, cloud platform, you cannot use your EDR and XDR. They are point solutions designed for catching the, like EDR is primarily for the identification of malware and ransomware and other viruses.
Mm,
XDR goes to next extent where like it will identify all these malware and other stuff. Along with it will also monitor the logs.
mm,
None of them will give you the deep visibility which you require about your cloud platform. EDR can never tell you like what kind of configuration your server has done, right? Or EDR will not tell you what kind of configuration the API has got. Because on API you cannot install EDR and XDR, right? So CSPM is completely different, designed to get that in-depth visibility which you require about your cloud platform rather than identify like on platform you will not get viruses like it's not an operating system where people can install something, right? Platform is platform, cloud platform. You will set up your containers, your server, your databases. You will configure APIs. You will build load balancer and whatnot. You're not installing anything, so there is no chance of any virus malware come to your cloud platform, infect the platform. They can infect your virtual machines and containers, but not the platform base. So to
mm.
get that information about your platform, what configuration you have got, where you stand as per the security configuration, the assets and everything, you need CSPM. EDR XDR will not help you here at all.
Hmm.
Or maybe they can, like XDR can help you about the cloud logs, not about the assets and configuration again.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So we can talk about remote forensics. What is the remote forensics, Utkarsh, and how does it enhance incident response in hybrid or remote environments? Can you please let us know?
That's my favorite topic actually. So I have a story for like, see what happened like as we are into the security monitoring space where we have our technology. So we faced this issue like we were also like doing the standard things which everyone does. Let's collect the logs, network packets, net flow data, system metrics, and do the analysis. But there is a huge blind spot which we do not get. Like one of our like what happened last year, one of our customer who are using our technology, they faced the attack, and this was not the actual attack. They were doing a red teaming activity. During that activity, couple of machines they executed some PowerShell and bash command.
Right.
Okay. Now we were not aware, like there was no logs about those things because PowerShell and bash logs are disabled by default. So
Hmm.
we were completely blind what exactly happened after it. Someone came in, we know this much. There is a breach, we were sure, like we have the evidence for. After that, what they did. So we had that blind spot. Have they installed any software? Have they created any backdoor, anything? We were completely blind about it. And that's where the idea of remote forensics came in where the whole objective of remote forest is let's get the 100% visibility of your IT infra. Any activity which we do, which the system do not log,
Hmm.
that information we need, like who executed what commands on the PowerShell or back. So
Hmm.
we need that information. So that information you can get using. I can simply run a command, ask my system, okay, tell me what kind of activities executed in PowerShell in past 24 hours and who executed what.
Right.
So I will have the list of all those activities. Like, okay, user Utkarsh executed this command, or user administrator did that. So I'll have
Right.
that information. If there is any kind of installation done, I'll get that information. If there is any kind of hardware changes, someone plugged in a pen drive, I'll get that information. Or
Mm,
someone make some changes into BIOS, I'll
mm,
get that information. Someone add a additional hard disk, or maybe plugged in a wire. By wire, I mean the LAN cable. So any activity which is happening either on the software or operating system side or on the hardware side, all the activities, remote forensics will record everything, right? And at any given point of time, I can query and get the information. I can simply ask, okay, tell me what activities user current did in past 1 hour. I will
mm,
have the whole information about it. Okay, current access these directories, executed this command in PowerShell. So I can keep an eye on every single activity which is happening on my servers, on my laptop desktop. I can monitor all the users, because sometimes like my users can do something malicious by knowingly or unknowingly. So that's
yeah.
where remote forensics comes into picture. It removes every single blind spot which you are having because of limited access to the logs, or because of logs only, because system does not log everything. That is a reality. So
Mm,
there, whatever blind spots are there, remote forensics gonna remove all those blind spots for you. Now you have every single information and you can make a better decision. If
mm,
someone has opened a port, you know there is a port open and you
yeah.
can simply block it. So that's why like you can be very quick about performing the response.
Mm,
If someone executed a PowerShell script, you have the information and you can disable that script or remove that script. Or suppose there is a malware running in stealth mode in your system, you can identify it and remove that thing. These things are not possible with EDR, XDR, your SIEM thing.
mm.
Yeah.
Right. So, in what scenarios can you please elaborate a bit more? In what scenarios is remote forensics more effective than traditional endpoint investigations?
See, for me, see, this traditional endpoint investigation is like what people does. Okay, like traditionally, basically, you get the hardware and then you're gonna put it into a cyber lab and do all the things, right? That is one
Mm,
thing. There
right.
are certain EDR platforms and XDR platform which also allows you to do some level of investigation, but
Mm,
that is not up to the mark which is required. Like
mm,
the deep visibility that you need, because they will be like lacking behind. Now, remote forensics is something. First thing I recommend everyone to do it continuously, as like we are heading towards the zero trust infrastructure thing, right? You know
mm,
the zero trust philosophy, like where you are not supposed to trust anything.
mm,
So as of now, zero trust is all about multi-factor authentication, network segmentation. I will add one more thing into zero trust, that is remote forensics. So
right.
we should investigate each and every activity which is running on the system every other day. That's not
Mm,
like if something will happen, then I'm going to run the command, get the information. Of course, after the incident, also you can perform the investigation, but you are supposed to be proactive with your infrastructure. So whenever,
right.
like every 24 hours, you can query and get the list of what kind of configuration you have got, or what kind of processes are running, what is there in your memory, what kind
Mm,
of active connections are there, what commands executed in past 24 hours, right? How many
right.
ports open, what users edit. You can identify all those things and investigate. Like you need to be proactive. So that's where like remote forensics comes into picture for me. If I'm
Right.
waiting for an incident to happen and after that I will execute remote forensics command and get the information, that will help you, of course. But this is after the incident. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want the incident to happen.
Right.
I
Right.
want to identify activities before they cause me any harm.
Right.
So for our use cases, remote forensics is something which will help you be proactive in the cyberspace and in the game of the cyber warfare. So
Mm-hmm.
something is at early stage, I will identify it, block it. I don't want to wait for the incident to happen, the downtime be there, and then I'm going to investigate. That's all waste of time and effort. And of course,
Right.
you will lose your reputation in business.
Right.
Yeah.
So similarly, in the blockchain space, uh, in the cyber warfare, we also have some weapons in our arsenal that are
Hmm.
provided by secured app named Secure Watch. It provides real-time monitoring of smart contracts and provide alerts on any suspicious or malicious activities. And if anything untoward happens, and say someone has not subscribed to our products, and if something happens, untoward happens, we also have a forensics product in place. It is named secure trace, so one can trace their digital assets and see where the assets have gone, and then nab that person who has done this malicious activity. So this is something similar is also done by SecureDAP. So let's move ahead with the
Awesome.
strategy and integration. Utkarsh, can you tell us how should organizations think about integrating SIEM, SOAR, CSPM, and forensics for holistic visibility?
So now one thing which I identify, a lot of people they buy SIM and they say, now the problem is like the cost of SIM is really high in the market. That's why. So they just integrate their servers.
Hmm.
Okay. And the
Right.
reason is, if you look into the market, all the SIM, they say, okay, I'm going to charge you an event per second. It's all extremely expensive. That's why, like, they say, let's be limited to our servers only. Or sometimes they also integrate firewall. Now, what happens? They're getting the visibility of their servers and firewall, but they are having laptops as well,
Hmm.
right? And a thread, there are very high chances that a thread will come to your network by a laptop. On your server, you do not access emails, you do not plug pen drive, right? You don't do much. Whatever is running will be running on the server. Maybe your apps, API, database, whatever. But on laptops, you're plugging in pen drives, you're accessing internet, you are opening your emails and whatnot. There
Hmm.
are extremely high chances there will be a attack coming to you via email in form of attachment. That attachment will be downloaded on your system. You will open it, and that malware is installed on that laptop. And from that laptop, they will like reach out to your servers and exploit the server. So
Right.
one thing is when you are integrating SIM, integrate the whole network. Every single device should be integrated, starting from your laptop, desktop, servers, Wi-Fi access point, routers, switch hubs, whatever you have got. Your EDR, XDR should also be integrated. Your IDS, IPS should be integrated, so that we can connect all the dots and we have the information what is actually going on.
Right.
Okay, that is one thing. Second, when we are doing the automation using SOAR platform, again, we have to define to what level of automation we want.
Right.
Okay. And
Right.
before automating anything, you need to do the calculation what kind of consequences we can face if that thing goes wrong.
Hmm.
Like in case of vulnerability patching, a lot
Hmm.
of people want to automate it, but the drawback is if there is any breaking changes, that will bring down the whole application and server. So that
Hmm.
is another thing that they have to take care of, right? Before automating every single thing.
Right.
CSPM is something which is mandatory. And in case of CSPM, it's always that you just need read-only access of the cloud platform. And after that, you get the visibility, and then you have to fix whatever misconfigurations are there. And CSPM is something, it's a continuous process.
Hmm.
It's not like that you have scanned it once, fixed everything, and now you're good to go.
Hmm.
Today's security patch is tomorrow's vulnerability.
Hmm.
Today you fix the vulnerability or misconfiguration, but it's not like that you will not use your cloud after that, or you will not make any changes into your cloud after that.
Right.
If today you have patched everything, everything is up to the mark, tomorrow someone will log in, they will again open an API because something is happening on the cloud platform continuously.
Hmm.
Developers are accessing it continuously. So you have to monitor the activities across your cloud continuously so that you can identify those issues in real time and fix them before they cause you any kind of harm. So
Got
that's
it.
where like you people should take care of these things.
Got it. So, can you tell us what architecture or tooling approach do you recommend for mid-size enterprises in particular looking to start this journey?
Okay. See, network architecture tool matters the most. So people have to like there are few truths which people have to accept. One, cyber attack will happen for sure. It's not today, tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Someday
Right.
it will happen.
Right.
Okay. So you need to be prepared for it. It's not always true that okay, attack will always come to your IP address like by a firewall only.
Mm-hmm.
Attack 94% attacks happen via pen drives or your email addresses because that's
Mm-hmm.
much easier. For me to bypass your firewall, it will take much more effort than sending you an email.
Right.
Right? I can send you an email with the attachment and that is gone. So
Right.
attacks gonna happen. Now when you design your network, one mistake that all the organization does, especially the small mid-size, they design a flat network. Flat network is something all the devices are connected to a single switch. Everything is connected to a single switch. Every
Mm.
device can talk to each other. Now the
Right.
problem with this good thing is it's easy, super easy thing, right? Just
Right.
plug in everything and you're good to go. Problem is if one machine compromised, suppose it's a ransomware, that ransomware will spread across your 100 devices within a fraction of second.
Mm-hmm.
And as cyber attack is the reality, it will happen to you. You can never patch everything. There will be some vulnerability present in your network all the time, right? And there will be misconfigurations as well. You cannot achieve the whole CI's benchmark. That's impossible thing. If you deploy everything, something or other will not work for you,
Right.
right?
So
So first thing they should work on network architecture. They should have segmentation in their network. They should not
right.
keep all the devices into the flat network. There should be segments so that devices have limited communication. And just in case if one device faces a ransomware attack, only that particular section or segment got encrypted rather than the whole network. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, suppose a compromise happens, that segmentation will become a wall for the attackers. Like they will only able, suppose in one segment you have 10 machines, attacker can only exploit those 10 machines, not all 100 machines in your network. So that's where like these things comes into picture, and of course the visibility matters a lot. So you need SIM. Yeah.
Right. Right. So and people need to know this because if the project is profitable and once it makes a lot of money, then cyber attacks are bound to happen.
Yes.
You can't say that we don't need X security, Y security because we have already done X or Y sort of things, and uh, no attack has happened till yet. No, if attack has not happened till yet, maybe your project is not profitable till now, because once it
Correct.
becomes profitable in once it attracts a lot of money, it attracts a lot of hackers as well with that,
Of
and
course.
that's why you need to have cyber security measures in place, right?
Correct.
Right.
So two types of attacks will be there. One is like bot attacks, which are like automated scripts which are continuously finding the targets and attacking them. Second are targeted. Targeted ones will happen when you have something very crucial with you. Maybe some data you are having which is important for some other organization, or you are in competition with some company and you are eating up their business.
Mm.
So your computer can also do that. There are a lot of scenarios actually about that. Maybe
Yeah.
a attacking group is interested in you. Maybe you have some data, and government is interested in data. Maybe other countries' government, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
cyber attack can be sponsored by anyone. It can be government, can be a competitor, it can be some random bot who is
Yeah.
interested in. Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, let us have a poll number two. Can we have a second poll on our screens? Our team from backend, can we have this poll number two on screen? Yeah. So, guys, please engage with this poll, and you might be able to win the exclusive secured app merchandise if you give the right answer of this question. You have 1 minute to give the right answer. Also, you can enter your questions in the chat box. We will take all your questions at the end of the session, a few minutes from now. So we have 20 seconds left for this poll to end. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, let us do one thing. I will announce the winner. Here's the time we are all waiting for, and I'll be announcing the winner of our previous session. So let me share my screen. All right. I hope my screen is visible. Uh, this is Simanta Sharma. He's the winner of week 5 of SBSS session. So many congrats to Simanta. You will get an exclusive secured app merchandise uh, delivered to you. And we hope all our guys who have joined us, they all participate in our polls regularly and get us and stand a chance to win merchandise. And also uh, you can also appear on our sessions uh, that we'll conduct a few days from now. There might be a face-off sessions that we conduct, or there are some more sessions and more programs in place that are lined up. So stay tuned. You can win some really crazy prizes from Secured App. So I'm stopping. Yeah. So let's move on, Utkarsh, and
Yeah.
let's talk about the real world impact. Can you walk us through a use case where this integrated approach helped reduce dwell time or improve response?
Uh, so see, uh, let me give you one example of my customer only.
Hmm.
So they were running over the cloud. Okay, and now one of their server was exposed publicly, not directly by another server. Okay, there was some misconfiguration there. So if you look at the configuration from the front end, you will not see it exposed. But because of one more security group, which was at the back end, that server was publicly exposed. So one fine night, it happened night around like 3 days. That particular incident happened. That server was facing a lot of authentication failures, and the events were only happening between 2 a.m. in the night to 5:30 a.m. in the night. In the
Hmm.
whole night, they were doing it.
Okay.
First night it happened, we reported to them. They said everything is fine, there is nothing. Second night again it happened. We again reported like this is happening. Your server is somewhere exposed, and they said no. We have cross checked everything. It is again happening. Third night again the same thing happened. We reported it. Tell them you need to scan your cloud platform using CSPM and find out if there is any kind of security group which is not like directly linked, but somewhere it's linked with your server and it is exposing your server to the public internet. And
Hmm.
after that, we scan the network, the cloud platform using CSPM platform. We find out that server was linked with two different security groups. So one which was primary, which they were seeing, and that primary security group was perfectly fine. There is no issue. There was one more security group which was linked to that,
Hmm.
and that was exposing the server to the public internet. And that server was very crucial. It was a database server,
Okay.
and this organization was a fintech organization,
Hmm.
NBFC basically. So if that database got compromised, rest you can imagine. Like for fintech, the database is everything. Like
Yeah.
that's all money, everything, all like whatever you are having, that's from the database only. So
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
kind of incident happens actually. So sometimes we believe we have everything, but because we do not have the visibility of that particular platform, we have the cloud logs, but we do not have the visibility about the configuration. Or we do not have the visibility about how many security groups we are having.
Hmm.
So admin team is thinking, okay, we have just one security group, but the previous team has created one more group and they left the company and now that group is present with some different rules. Now security
Right.
groups are basically the firewall policies of your cloud platform, where
Hmm.
you define, okay, how many ports are open, to whom they will be open, all these things will be there.
Right.
That's what like that's one use case which we face in real world.
Got it. So, can you tell what are some KPIs or metrics to track the effectiveness of this visibility and response strategy?
Okay. So KPI is like it depends use cases you are defining. Okay. So first thing is your use cases. Now use cases completely depends on what kind of infrastructure you have got.
Right.
Okay. So base suppose you have Oracle database server. Now from Oracle DB, what kind of logs you have to collect to get the full visibility.
Hmm.
So you will have the default logs which will tell you this is happening, that is happening. Then you will have the audit log, which
Hmm.
tells you every single stuff.
Right.
So first thing, like what happens, like at the time of deployment, your SIEM, we simply go with the default configuration, like whatever my system is generating, that is good, and that will give me everything. That's not true again. So you have like two types of logs. One is your standard logs, which will tell you what is happening. One is your audit logs, which tells you each and every activity. Like one is like about your cloud. Suppose you have Oracle DB. So whatever Oracle DB is doing. Okay, database started, database rebooted, authentication request received, authentication failure, all those things. Audit logs will tell you user XYZ executed this command, user ABC executed this command. This was the response from my end. This is more important because
Right.
there are, see, it's not always true that okay, attacker will come from outside. Maybe my account got compromised. Now using my username, attacker is talking to my database and collecting the data. Possibilities are always there. It's not always true that okay, attack will directly happen on the server. Attack will happen on my laptop first, because that is the weakest point. Less secure, more open to the internet world. I'm freely accessing it, right? Doing whatever I want, downloading movies, accessing whatever websites I want, right? And opening emails. So more risk is on my laptop, and from my laptop, they can access anything. So this
Yeah.
similar thing happened to a company actually 2 years ago. They faced a ransomware attack, and this company was they were into manufacturing. Basically, they used to design all those machine designs. Basically, they are into mechanical things. So
Yeah.
they faced a ransomware attack. So one of their laptop, which was running on I guess Windows XP, was some one tool that they use that only supports XP only. And unfortunately, or whatever, like they were using the older version because that older version was available freely, and the newer version was running on the newer laptops, newer operating system, but you have to pay for that.
Right.
So for using that free version, they were running the Windows XP thing. Somehow that XP got compromised, right? Maybe by email or something. And from that XP, there's 50 servers where they store all the design and everything. Suppose they are designing some process for some factory, that design was stored on that server, and that server was compromised. I mean, encrypted. They lost all the data. Attacker was demanding, I guess, some $45,000 to leave those servers. So there was no guarantee if they pay the money, will they get back the data? You know, like
Yeah.
you can't do anything over the Bitcoin network, right?
Yeah.
Once the money is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't go to the bank and say seize this account and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So at the end, they decided, okay, we will not pay the money, we will not lose the $45,000. Let's wipe out the whole network and rebuild everything. So these kind of incidents can happen at any time, point of time. Now, when it comes to KPIs, it depends. Like you have to regularly review your use cases, right? That is one thing. Second thing, whosoever is monitoring the network, you have to review their performance and what they are doing. You need to keep an eye those things also. Like,
Right.
are they monitoring it properly or not? Are they delivering what they are supposed to deliver? So all those things also you have to look into. So there are a lot of KPIs and metrics which you can build around like your security monitoring.
Right.
Like it's
So,
endless thing basically. Yeah.
are you also involved in blockchain sector?
No, we are not into blockchain. Like I
Yeah.
have, I studied one course about blockchain. I know very basic about it, but technically I don't understand anything about blockchain. I would love to learn about it.
Because the attackers, the hackers, when they hack anything, they always deal in cryptocurrency, right?
Exactly. There is no way to like now where you will go.
Hmm.
If I'm a attacker, I share my bank account. I'm
Hmm.
sharing all my details with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you may pay me, and at the same time you will file a police complaint. Police will seize my account. So
Hmm.
money is received, I cannot withdraw it. But
Hmm.
in blockchain, it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't go to police also.
Unless you are using the secure trace tool that's developed by secured app. So really
Yeah.
sophisticated forensics we have used to build this software. So you can have a short trial of that by visiting our secured app page. And Utkarsh, is it true that unified visibility across on-prem, cloud, and remote endpoints, is it an achievable reality, or is it still a persistent challenge for most organizations? What's the biggest
It,
hurdle for that?
no, it can be achieved, right? It's not at all a challenge. But
Hmm.
there are some issues.
Hmm.
So one thing is, let's talk about Microsoft Windows.
Hmm.
Now your Windows machine generates 1100 types of logs,
Hmm.
but 99% of them are disabled. The
Right.
reason why they are disabled, because when you enable log, it will require system resources.
Right.
So if you enable all your 1100 types of logs, you will get all the visibility. But the problem is it will require somewhere around 15 to 20% of your total system resources.
Right.
And no one wants to do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because what people say, okay, my server is designed to run my maybe like web application. It is for business. So let the server run for business rather than for the forensics and visibility purpose. So that's the issue. So to overcome this thing that we came up with this remote forensics thing, we don't enable the lock. Without enabling the lock, so also we will get that information. So your system resources will be like at the minimum thing. If I talk about the agent that we install, it only requires 1.5 MB of RAM, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So with 1.5 MB RAM, we will do all the investigation forensics, collect the log, collect the network packets, metrics, and it will not impact the system performance at all, and you can achieve the complete visibility with that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
second issue that people face is they believe, okay, we want to install the agent. The agent is like two-side blade. It
Mm-hmm.
can do good for you, it can do bad for you. So that's true actually. But again, like if they do not install the agent, that is another bad thing. Like that is more harmful. If you don't have the visibility and you are like blind about your network, then this is more riskier than installing the agent. And agent is basically, if I talk about risky agent, it's just read only thing. You can't
Mm-hmm.
execute anything using a risky agent.
Right. Uh, can you tell us what are some integration nightmares? So, given the complexity of integrating SIEM, SOAR, and CSPM, what do you think are the top two or three most common integration failures, and how can they be avoided?
See, the one biggest thing that I face regularly, that is log integration. So there is no standard logging format at all.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. Like you go to like if you log into a Linux system, you will find 8 to 10 different types of logs in Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So each application, each software, they generate their own logging format. Some will be in JSON. JSON is still really good actually. I love JSON format. Some will be HTML plus text. Some will be your XML format. Some will be CSV. Some will be some random weird formats. Nested JSONs are there. So all these weird log formats, when you have to deal with them, the challenge is like when you're collecting the logs, you can read it, but you have to parse that log, make it machine readable. Like it's a raw data for you. So
Mm-hmm.
problem is like all these things. Like one particular device which I like, I don't want to take the name. It's a firewall device and it's a big company. It's not a smaller company. It's really big brand in the networking space. It's one number one player you can call them. Okay. If you see the way they do login, it's like shit. It's like the worst logging I have faced ever. There is no standard format only. So
Mm-hmm.
then timestamp changes. So that's one big nightmare. Like whenever I have to deal with that device, I feel like, man, what the hell is this? So that's one thing. Second is protocols. So people have like random protocols people use to push the log. Some are saying, okay, I will use syslog, the default syslog. Some say, no, I will only send you logs using syslog plus TCP. Fine. Some will say, no, syslog plus TCP plus TLS certificate should be there. So you have multiple such, some will send you logs in HTTP stream. Some will send you log, one cloud platform sends you logs in or Kafka stream format. So
Mm-hmm.
different formats. So the integration becomes challenge because of these log formats and the logging protocols. Now
Right.
these are the issues, but we have already resolved all these issues. Rixty can easily integrate with any technology using any form. It can accept logs in any format, and it can connect to any random weird protocol. Whatever they are working on, we can easily integrate there. So those things we have overcome already. But yeah, in the early days we faced this issue like anything. We were really struggling because of these things.
Yeah. You can also tell a bit more about Restri, your company, and because we have some audience who have joined right now, you can tell a
Mhm.
bit more about your company and so that they know what exactly is the context that you are talking about.
Okay, sure. So, see, let's talk about myself first. It's been 12 years I'm working in the cybersecurity industry, and I started my career as offensive security professional. So I was into hacking and red teaming, all these things. After that, I jumped into defensive security, where I was building the networks. I was talking about okay, how to do security monitoring, incident response, forensics, those things. Now,
Right.
during my defensive days, I find out one big problem that was okay, we have the visibility, we have SIA, but the problem was okay, like first, it's not connecting to everything. Second, we have a lot of logs and we are struggling with those logs.
Mm.
I mean, You have 1 crore logs in front of you. You have to monitor those things. You have to read those things. It's not possible. So
Yeah.
that's where the idea of Rixty came in. So we thought, okay, we will design a product which will integrate with anything and everything. Okay. First thing. Second, it will automate the processes for us. Rather than I'm doing things manually, rather
Mm.
than reading the raw logs, it will give me tell me what are the actionable things.
Right.
Okay. Along
Right.
with the raw logs to connect the dots. And
Mm-hmm.
third thing, it will automate the whole process from identifying the event to performing the response. So that's where the Rixty came into picture. And slowly, when we started, like 3 years ago, when we started the company
Mm.
and we started deploying the technology to our customers, we find out a lot more blind spots, which we overcome with the help of cloud security posture management, which we developed, which we recently launched, I guess, 5 months ago in December itself. And
Mm.
then we also developed the remote forensics technology, which
Right.
also again gives us the in-depth visibility about every single activity which is not part of the logs
Mm-hmm.
at any one point of time. Right? I can query my operating system right now and get how many processes are running, who is talking to who executed what command. I have all that information. So I can like figure out everything. So that's where
Right.
Rixty comes into play. Rixty is something, it gives you two 360-degree visibility. No one in the market gives you that true visibility. Everyone claims, but no one is giving that. No, they don't have that answer. Rixty is the only tool which can integrate with any technology which is present in your network, no matter what it is, any
Mm.
random stuff. So those things we can easily figure out. And Rixty is something which can integrate with anything and give automate any process. Like if I talk about our SOAR platform, it can be integrated with 2,500 plus different technologies out of the box,
Right.
whatever you are having. So we can
Yes.
like talk to your any random technology, send the response command, and blog anything. So that level of automation we have achieved, and we are continuously making it better and more better. It's a
That's
continuous process for us.
That's great. That's really impressive, the things that you are involved in. So, can you tell us how can organizations with limited budgets and staff effectively leverage these advanced tools to enhance visibility and response without overstretching their resources?
Yeah, of course. So first thing that everyone should do, doesn't matter how big or small you are, you need to have segments in your network. This is something very basic. Everyone should have it because network segmentation is the only thing, only way where you can counter a cyber attack. Okay. And it does not cost you anything. You are already having some modem or switches. Over there, you can create virtual lanes and you can separate the department. Okay, like my account department will be in a separate network. I mean, separate virtual lane, and then your marketing department will be in separate lane, development will be in separate, cloud team will be in separate lane. That's how you can do. So there is no cost in that. You have the modems, you have the switches already installed in your device organization. You just need to program it little bit. Super easy thing. Once you do that, you will like suppose you face the attack will not surpass that particular segment. So you will
Right.
only lose some 4 or 5 machines which are present in the in that particular segment rather than the whole network. That is one thing you can do. Second thing, you need to get the visibility. For that, you can get Rixty because Rixty is not at all expensive. Like it will not cost you your kidney or anything. Like, it's extremely affordable tool, and it gives you every single information which you need. The true 360-degree visibility you will get with Rixty, and it will be like if you go to the market at the fraction cost of any available technology in the market.
Right.
So you can have that tool. You can start monitoring your network, and whenever there will be any kind of activities, you can simply identify, block them. That's where like Rixty will help you to automate the whole process of incident threat hunting and incident response in your network.
Yeah. Got it.
But even if
Let
you
me.
have Rixty and you don't have the segmentation, that's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Segmentation is mandatory from my side.
Yeah. So let us talk a bit about the human element. Recently, the Bybit hack happened in the blockchain space, and they said that mainly the humans were hacked. So, can you tell us, with increasing automation, what critical skills should security analysts focus on developing to thrive in this sector?
See, nothing can replace human intelligence. Okay.
Hmm.
No matter how many chat GPT, how many Geminis or Claudia you came up, they are still a technology with limited capabilities.
Right.
Human brain is something which can do anything and everything. Like the learning capability humans have got, technology is yet to get it. Maybe after 100 years or whatever time, it will be true. But as of now, nothing can replace human intelligence.
Right.
So when it comes to becoming a really good security analyst, one has need to have 360-degree knowledge about computing. Okay, why I'm saying this? Like, let's talk about, like, let me give you an example. Suppose
Hmm.
you're a network engineer. What do you need to know? Networking. You need to know all the networking protocol, how firewall works, network switch, router, those things. If you are a system engineer, you need to know operating system, be it
Hmm.
Windows, Linux, whatever. Right? If you are a software developer, you need to know a couple of programming languages, maybe Python, Angular, JS, whatever. Database admin, you know your database.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Why you just need to know those things? Because you are only dealing with those things.
Hmm.
Network engineer don't think about what is happening on a database side. That's out
Right.
of his scope only. So all
Hmm.
these people, they are pretty much limited to their own work.
Right.
When it comes to security analyst, you are dealing with every single thing. You are
Hmm.
also dealing with that fingerprint scanner which is there outside your organization. So whatever
Right.
activity is happening on that fingerprint scanner, you have to care about that as well. So a SOC analyst is someone who has to deal with everything. SOC analyst will look into network logs, so he needs to know networking protocol, how communication happens, right? SOC analyst
Hmm.
looks into the system logs. He needs to understand how operating system works, how Windows, Linux work. He will deal with the application logs, containers, cloud platforms, and whatnot. So
Right.
SOC analyst needs to understand every single thing in that. Only
Right.
after that they can do something. If they don't understand how communication is happening and I'm giving them network logs, maybe the system will give them alerts, but they
Hmm.
do not understand it and they cannot convey the message.
Right.
Suppose there is a network side attack going on and I
Right.
need to convey the message to the firewall team, but
Hmm.
I don't understand firewall. I can't do anything now. Well, I mean, something is happening. I can't say this, right? Because the
Yeah.
network engineer or the firewall engineer expected tell me in my terms,
Hmm. Right.
right? Or the DevOps engineer will expect tell me in DevOps terms.
Right.
So that's where like the learning of security analyst is like really crucial. Okay,
Hmm.
they have to learn every single thing from end to end. They
Hmm.
cannot skip anything, and they need to build that strong understanding. Then
Right.
only they can defend the whole network. Otherwise, it's all like in the air only. Then you will struggle with like certain logs or certain activities. And to be very frank, you can automate every single thing, but to automate, that human intelligence comes into picture. The playbook will be written by a highly skilled SOC analyst only.
Right.
ChatGPT cannot write those playbooks for you.
Right.
Okay.
Uh,
Or
you
cloud
talked
AI.
about
Yeah.
you talked about SOC analyst. Can you explain our friends what exactly this term means and how can they become one?
Okay. SOC analysis is security analytics basically. SOC is security operations center. And the
Hmm.
analysts who sit inside that known as SOC analyst, also known as security analyst. What this
Right.
guy do? You count SOC analyst as border security force, BSF. So
Right.
a BSF Jawan is on the border, and they are doing? They are patrolling across the border areas and looking into each and every activity. And if they
Yes.
find any terrorists trying to cross, they will simply shoot. The same job you are doing here in SOC. Here, the instead of border, you are having a corporate network, okay, and you are monitoring every single activity which is happening across corporate network, whatever it is. You're looking into each and everything. You're identifying whether it's true or false positive. Is it actually a malicious activity or it's a maybe like wrong password entered by your own SOC team, whatever it is. So you will look into each and everything, identify things and block them. That's what your role is. So SOC analysis is as crucial as the BSF guy on the border. If
Right.
BSF guy misses the terrorist, that guy will come in and do some sort of activity, or maybe some terrorist attack they will do. If a SOC analyst misses a security event, maybe a attacker will come inside and then organization will face some sort of like breach or downtime. So both are pretty much similar. How to become one? So you need to learn everything. First thing first, the basic thing. You need to have a strong command over network communication. Because of network only all these attacks are happening. The cyber attack comes to you by a network. It doesn't matter it's coming by an email or it's coming by a pen drive or sorry, by your firewall, whatever it is. but network plays a crucial role here. Computers are so powerful because of network only. If you remove network, there is no internet, there is no blockchain, there is nothing, no banking, no ATM, everything is on paper.
Yeah.
Computer will be a calculator, right? So networking, you need to have very strong fundamental on network. Second thing, you need to learn operating system. Windows, Linux, both master them. You need to understand each and every protocol that Windows and Linux is having, how they work, how commands execute, what command does what, every single thing.
Right.
And then of course, programming languages, cloud platforms comes into picture, DevOps, these are other things which you have to learn by the time. But
Right.
once you understand network and operating system, a lot of things you will be able to understand. And then you have to learn security, how attack happens. Offensive security is very important. If you don't know how someone will attack you, you cannot defend yourself. Like
Right.
army also does the same. At army, they learn how attackers will attack and how we have to defend. But if you don't know how someone is gonna attack you, like you don't know how they will shoot the bullet and bomb you, then how you gonna defend yourself? Correct?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if I go to border, I won't be able to defend myself. Forget about the country. Because I
Right.
don't know if someone is shooting at me, bullets are coming, how to protect myself. So
Mm.
at the same time in SOC, you need to learn how attackers gonna attack you. Once you understand that, then you will learn how you gonna defend. So
Yeah.
offensive security and defensive security, both you have to master. Once
Yeah.
you know all these things, life is all about learning. You will keep learning a lot of things. There will be a million things coming at you.
Yeah.
You keep learning and like cyberspace, something like every 6 months, something brand new will be here for you to
Yeah.
learn. It's not like that you learned something today, you have mastered it, now it's done. No. Till the day of your retirement, you will be learning. If you are jumping into cybersecurity, it's a never ending thing. Yeah.
So, looking ahead, let's talk a bit about AI. We have talked about the human element, but the
Mhm.
future is of AI, as they say. So, let's talk a bit about AI. Before that, I would like the audience to post their questions in the chat. And also,
Mhm.
you will receive right now in a couple of minutes the feedback form link. You please provide us the feedback and get the participation certificate as well. And Utkarsh, let's talk a bit about the future of AI and cybersecurity. Can you please tell how will generative AI impact the future of IT infrastructure visibility, threat identification, and operational efficiency of SIEM, SOAR, and forensic investigations?
Okay. See, now generative AI will have both the types of impact on the cyberspace. One is offensive. It has made life easy for all, for defenders
Hmm.
as well as the offensive people or the adversaries, I say. So
Right.
what adversaries are doing? They have built like there is something called create your own GPT. So
Hmm.
what they do, they will like create their own GPT budget designed for maybe writing malwares or ransomwares or maybe exploits for particular technology, whatever it is. So they are
Yeah.
also having access to a technology, and with the help of that, they're writing exploits, creating attacks, all those things. So
Hmm.
earlier they have to do all those things manually. Now what they do is they simply pass on the configuration, like not configuration, the documentation of a particular device which they are targeting, right? GPT
Right.
will explain them everything, they will understand it, and then they will give the prompts to write that exploit for that particular thing. And within
Right.
5 minutes, within 2 minutes, they will have the code, and
Hmm.
they can send that code to a device and exploit it. So it has become easier for them to attack you, and
Hmm.
that's why the frequency of attack has been increased. So suppose their one code is not working, they will rewrite it again.
Right.
So the life of hackers has become super easy. Same
Got.
way as a defense analyst or security analyst,
Hmm.
ChatGPT or Gen AI will help you also. Like suppose you want to understand an event. Earlier you have to Google it or find out like what exactly happening. Now you can like if you look at locks are really weird looking things. Sometimes you will have the information what exactly happening. A lot of times you will like what the hell is it? So in that situation, you can simply put that particular copy that log, put into GPT, ask it to explain you. You will have
Right.
that information in one shot, right?
Right.
Especially if I talk about the Java log, there is more stupid English than the काम का चीज, I can say, like the thing that matters more that will be in one line, but Java will give you like some 20-line log. Out of it, a lot
Hmm.
of this file crash that happened, those things will be there. That is one way. Second, when it comes to prioritizing the vulnerabilities or misconfiguration, Now, in corporate environment, you cannot patch the vulnerabilities just like that. You need to prioritize, like something which you can live with, something which you have to immediately patch. Right now, why you have to live with vulnerabilities? Suppose there is a library which you are using, that library is having a vulnerability. Fine. And you are the only one on the planet, just as a case, right? You are the only one who is using that library for your application. And
Right.
company has released a security patch with some breaking changes. And if you install those breaking changes, your application will crash, right? And to make
Right.
your application compatible with that new library, it will take some time. Maybe like you will take some, your development team will take some 15, 20 days, 1 month of time, depending on the how crucial is that library for the application. Maybe 1 month. So for one
Yeah.
month, you have to live with that vulnerability. Okay. So
Okay.
suppose now you need to have some ad hoc solution for that, right? So over here, you can take help from ChatGPT. Or suppose you have to prioritize something, which vulnerability to patch first out of five, which is more crucial. You can put it into GPT. Like rather than you are reading the whole release note, you can copy paste that release note into GPT, and GPT will give you the answer. That is one way. Now there is one more thing which is going on. That is like even we tried that. Like you can link your SIM with your ChatGPT kind of thing, large language model. So your GPT gonna read all your logs. That's the drawback because you're losing your privacy to them, right? But
Yeah.
GPT can do the analysis for you. It will do all the correlation, give you the results only. But the
Right.
problem is you will lose a lot of data to them. Because as per GPT policy, they store everything. Suppose I'm giving all my log database access to them. They have all the access of my logs, right? And
Yeah.
in those logs, there will be a lot of critical information, like my usernames will be there, my internal IP address will be there, right? My
Yeah.
software package names will be there. So a lot of things will be there which will be shared with GPT, which no one
Okay.
wants. So we also did that actually last year in 2024, where we integrate GPT into our SIM. And what we were doing, we were able to analyze the logs automatically without doing any kind of human intervention. Later on, when we read the GPT policies, we understood, okay, my all data will be stored by GPT servers, right? And it is with them only. And my logs contain a lot of critical information, IP address, username, program files, whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's one more issue. But definitely, like something will surely come up in future, especially the agentic AIs. You know AI agents. So
Yeah.
AI agent is something which will replace the L1 SOC analyst in next 5 to 10 years. So what those AI agents are? They are the software elements which will do a particular job. Like suppose let's have a firewall analyst or maybe a firewall configuration guy. So Fortinet firewall, Fortinet company can come up with an AI agent. Now this AI agent will talk to a user and ask what kind of policies you want. User will pass on the policy details in plain English, and the AI agent which will like it will convert it into the configuration format and push it to the firewall. So your basic job which we are having right now, like firewall deployment, basic security analytics, Active Directory configuration, those basic things will be eliminated in next 5 to 10 years. We will
Yeah.
not see anyone who is writing firewall configurations now. Because I
Okay.
can talk to my AI agent and AI agent will do the job. Same with
Yeah.
the SOC analysis. L1 SOC analysis where you like look into the events and identify the critical events and report to the L2 analyst. That job will be removed by SOC AI agents. There will be a AI agent which will identify those events and report those critical events to the L2 SOC analyst. And later on, L2 SOC analyst will take care. So a lot
Okay.
of entry level jobs will not be there.
So we have one question. Which one should an organization implement first? SIEM or SOAR, and why?
First, SIM. SIM is something which will get the logs for you. SOAR is a second. SOAR is for automation. That will come after once your SIM is installed, deployed, and it's mature enough. After that, you need to have SOS SOAR to automate the processes, right? So SIEM is always first. If you deploy SOAR, it's useless. I mean, you can do certain things with it, but again, when you don't have data, what you will do?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I hope Sangeeta, you got the answer to your question, and please fill the feedback form, everyone. Lakshay, I hope your issue has also been sorted, and so. let me thank everyone for joining this session, and thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your incredible insights. Your expertise has given us a lot to think about and act upon. Any final
Thank
words
you
for the
for
audience? Any
thank you
final
so
words for
much,
the
Karan, for inviting me. Now, final words are nothing like see, cybersecurity is extremely crucial and critical. We are in the era of AI now, and we are not going to go back to the paper era at all. Our dependency on IT will grow. If you go back to like 2015 when there was no Geo, we were not using internet that much.
Yeah.
Now every single person is having your smartphones. Everyone is over the internet and doing something or other. So the attack surface has been grown a lot, right? And the bigger attack surface, that means cyber attack can come from anywhere. It can also come from my mobile phone also. And my
Mm-hmm.
mobile phone may be connected to my organization and I'll spread that malware to my organization. And there is no way we are going back to the older times where we will have files and everything. Now we have AI. After 5, 10 years, we'll have the quantum computers, quantum AI that will take us to the next level. So cybersecurity related issues will become more and more crucial only. So we have to take care of those things. We have to monitor. We have to mitigate risk. Otherwise, it's the IT which is helping us so much can become our great graveyard as well. You
Mm-hmm.
never know that.
Right, right. Sangeeta is saying very informative session. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Thank you
Thank you.
from our end as well. And we hope to have you, Utkarsh, back soon in the season 2 of Secure Dapp's Bharat Security Initiative. And
Thank you so much.
a huge thank you to all of you, our amazing audience, for tuning in and making this webinar so interactive. Your engagement drives our mission at Secure Dapp to build a safer digital India. I would like to thank our partners and sponsors as well. I would also like to thank SciSec, cybersecurity wing of Karnataka government, owned and managed by ISC Bangalore, CCOE Hyderabad, and Jinsub Incubation for coming forward as a partner and co-host for this special initiative. If you have enjoyed today's session, please hit that like button and subscribe to Secured Apps YouTube channel for more webinars like this. Also, mark your calendars for next week, same time, when we'll back with another inspiring guest and a new topic. You don't want to miss it. Thank you, everyone. That's all for today, folks. Stay safe online, keep learning, and we'll see you next week on behalf of Secured App and Bharat Security Initiative. This is your host, Karan, signing off. Take care.
So much.